Three games across the country, two of them at halftime, and the other one in action in Seattle. Clark Kellogg and I about to fill you in on everything that's going on.
CBS Sports presents Pennzoil at the Half, sponsored by Pennzoil, specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
Welcome once again to Pennzoil at the Half, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Clark Kellogg at halftime. Arkansas 41-34 lead on Iowa. We said there'd be a lot of three-point shots. We didn't say there'd be a lot of them made, but can you imagine where Iowa would be if they hadn't turned the ball over 15 times in the first half?
Those 15 turnovers, Greg, led to 14 points for Arkansas. And in the last part of that first half, Arkansas got the pace revved up more to their liking. That's why they're on top.
Meanwhile, in Seattle, the Stanford team that returned everyone this year, went to the Final Four last year, has trailed Gonzaga from the start. They are into the second half now, and let's take you now to Key Arena in Seattle and join Kevin Harlan and John Sunvold.
Sauer to Manson. Loose inside is 10th seed Gonzaga, leads by 5. On the fly, Santangelo, the fake, the fly, the flash. Put back up and in. What a play, Santangelo putting in his own miss.
And two Stanford bodies on the floor. Gonzaga being as physical as they can be. Two terrific hoops and much needed hoops for this Gonzaga team by Santangelo.
Pandemonium in Seattle. A 7-point lead by Gonzaga. Sauer to Manson to Reeves. What rotation? Lee for three, right down the middle.
All caused by the mismatches inside. Once Manson gets the ball, they have to help Spink down low.
Eight threes by Gonzaga. 2 by Stanford. The steal. Lee flies in. Counted for 2 and a foul on Santangelo of Gonzaga.
All Arthur Lee on that play, Kevin. He came from the weak side, knocked it away from the Gonzaga player. Nobody saw it coming. Take a look at Arthur Lee coming from the backside, and Dench doesn't see anything. Weems smart enough to kick it ahead. The control and the patience and the poise on the break by Lee. Look where he comes from. Dench not even observing. Santangelo right here trying to make a play. Again, total body control and poise in midair.
Lee, one of the best free throw shooters in college basketball.
We already talked about what he did a year ago. 35 of 35 in the NCAA tournament.
44 consecutive with that train right there. And this is the closest it has been since the beginning. Hall. Santangelo pumped by Lee.
And again, they're making Santangelo and Fromm go inside. No more long jump shots.
Hall, Fromm, and Santangelo.
On screens, you cannot shoot the gap. The Zags will shoot you out.
Foul inside, called on Seton. That's his second.
And Gonzaga fans react because they've had a lot of fouls called against them inside today.
Stanford, the lone Pac-10 team remaining. Gonzaga, the only West Coast Conference team invited to the dance. 38% shooting for Gonzaga. Stanford at 41. A 3 by Fromm. Rebound by Spink. At 195 pounds, he is manning the pivot.
He may be thin, but he's very active. Got great footwork.
Hall, wide open 3, right between the eyes.
Another big one. Quentin Hall does. He continues to move without the basketball. His second three-pointer this afternoon.
McDonald around the screen. Flying inside. Slammed in by Manson. Where in the world did he come from?
Boy, what energy this guy plays with.
2-point game. Manson with 10 rebounds. Spink. Fromm, a 2-pointer, in and out. Fought for inside and vacuumed in by Manson.
And Manson was the defender who put a hand in Fromm's face and then goes back and gets the rebound.
Gonzaga on top by 2, 49-47. McDonald jousting with Hall. Suffocating defense by Hall. Lee and Fromm. Shot clock at 10. Lee knifing his way inside. Picked up by Hall, racing the other way, 4-on-3. Hall with all kinds of options, sends it out to Santangelo.
And he found Santangelo late. Santangelo was open for a split second.
Eaton with the spinner, pulled off the glass by Manson. He's got
Back and forth they go. Gonzaga and Stanford. We will keep you clued in as to what goes on in Seattle. Meanwhile, at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis, second round action in the South. Oklahoma State and Auburn. It's a 3-point lead for the top-seeded Tigers. Let's take you right there and join Sean McDonough and Bill Raftery.
Auburn leads 43-38. Just underway in the second half. Auburn, the #1 seed in the South. In a pretty tight battle throughout.
Oklahoma State doing a nice job now of beating the press and getting something good out of it.
Doug Gottlieb. Now Adrian Peterson. The pull-up from the free throw line.
They got some perimeter game.
Yes.
If ever you get Glendon Alexander to open up and feel comfortable, they're right there.
Because Mason is 15. Peterson is 12. If Alexander could heat up, they'd be very tough to stop. Robinson just inside the arc. That's a 2.
And that's the high pick was on his left, and then defensively, Doug Gottlieb anticipated going that way. Good crossover move.
And 4 points for Robinson. Ordinarily is in double figures in scoring. 24 times this year he's reached double figures. Auburn's 4 for 4 from the floor in this half.
Peterson should be able to get a shot off against Pullman if they bring it down to him.
Peterson, Pullman jumped out, so Adrian stepped inside the arc and hit a 2-pointer.
So Oklahoma State closes to within 3 of Auburn. Still plenty of time to play in the second half in Indianapolis. We want to remind you that coming up at about 6:50 Eastern time, 6:56 to be exact, we'll send you west for 14th seed Weber State against Florida. And then at 7:04 Eastern time in the South, Detroit will tip off against Ohio State. One other note for you. Duke says that Trajan Langdon, who has missed the last 3 games with a sprained foot, will start tomorrow against Tulsa. We'll be on the air at noon Eastern time. Duke and Tulsa will be the first game up tomorrow here on CBS. Now I'll update you on that game in the West where Gonzaga and Stanford are now tied at 49 all, 11-18 to play in the second half. A timeout here, and we'll get you back to Denver for second half action in just a moment.
Pennzoil at the half has been sponsored by Pennzoil, specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
I found I was missing all sensation of sight. It was so dark underground, we had seen no light for days. What was visible, however, was the enemy. The fact that they were fighting against their better nature.
For those who combine a passion for living with a passion for living. The Volvo C70 convertible.
Some things just don't mix. Hey! Yeah! Like drinking and driving.
Great moments in college sports make great memories and often inspires great achievement beyond the game. Come see it all at the Hall, the new NCAA Hall of Champions, a place to relive the action, savor the memories, discover what it means to be a true champion, and that might just be the greatest moment sports has ever produced. The NCAA Hall of Champions, opening in downtown Indianapolis in March 2000.
College costs money. That's why I'm getting a basketball scholarship. It's gonna be hard work, but I'll get there. People say I'm too short. Too short like a fox. Oh, I have game.
You may never get an athletic scholarship, but call now to find out how last year 7 out of 10 full-time students received other kinds of aid, more than $60 billion in all.
I carry these guys a little bit. You can't stop me. You can only hope to contain me.
Let's see. CBS is the official network of the tournament, so who's going to have the fastest total online coverage? CBS.sportsline.com. That makes sense.
Arkansas with the lead at halftime. CBS Sports coverage of the 1999 men's basketball tournament will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
Now, Mr. Wells, we're going to monitor your thoughts. Listen carefully. Your boss wants to have a talk with you. You're being audited. It's 110 degrees in rush hour traffic. You're stuck in a used car. Mr. Wells, a used car. Mr. Wells, are you paying attention?
The address is CBS. Welcome home.
Does anyone want to go really, really fast? Now your business can move faster, more affordably, over standard phone lines. Introducing Red, 17 times faster than 56K, 8 times faster than ISDN. Call 1-888-RED-2000.
Americans love to save money. That's why Americans love the Chevy Malibu lease. Not only do you drive away in a Malibu for only $219 a month, you don't have to put a penny down. That's right, $219 a month with zero due at lease signing. That means no checkbook required. Tax, title, and license extra. The Chevy Malibu lease, just $219 a month with zero due at lease signing. See your Chevrolet dealer today.
Think you know what drives Michigan's business? Today, we're also helping lead the nation on the Internet highway.
And it's an easy drive to big technology customers.
Site Selection magazine rated Michigan #1 for new business growth. Cha-cha-cha.
I'd venture that a lot of companies will find 24 tax cuts in 6 years inviting.
Call 1-800-946-6829 for information about Michigan's great location.
Today, it's not enough to be just computer smart. You've also got to be state smart.
Back in Denver, Arkansas with a 7-point advantage. Kareem Reed 13 points on 6 of 9 shooting, the halftime stats. And you know what happened here, Arkansas just wore down Iowa, that street fight that Nolan Richardson talks about. It worked.
It sure did, especially the last 8 minutes of the half. It worked superbly with them, and they've also forced the turnovers. That's one of the things Iowa has to make a change and an adjustment in the second half. Protect the basketball better.
We start play, second half from McNichols Sports Arena. UConn has already advanced to the Sweet 16 with an easy victory over New Mexico. The winner of this game will match up against the top-seeded Huskies in the next round. Walker pulls it out for Reed. Jeffries was in foul trouble in the first half, trying to get it inside to Hood. Out of bounds.
Hood did not expect that to be a pass. He was thinking shot just then, and with all the threes they've taken in the last game and a half, I'd be expecting a 3 also.
First couple of minutes so pivotal for Iowa. If Arkansas can go back and forth with that ragged style, Hawkeyes might be in some trouble.
That was a quick one. He's ready to extricate himself from the position. Looking for the step through. Wonderful position by Mason, and he gets the call as well.
And it was quick.
Now, Sean, look how they face guard. Now, they didn't do that in the first half. It's been a little problem for Oklahoma State.
Ticking down to 14 minutes left. And Auburn has a 5-point lead. Auburn has led through most of the game. Oklahoma State had an early 6-point lead. The Auburn lead has been up to 9. And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Jay Hurd. Alex Weber on the bench with 4 fouls.
John, you talked about Auburn's depth. I mean, you come in with Hurd, give Pullman a blow. Sharp comes in. They are deep and talented.
Mason fouled. Fouled by Jay Hurd. That's the second on Hurd. And the second team foul on Auburn.
Tigers, number 12, Hurd. That's his second. Team second.
Emmy Award winner John LaRoquette returns to television as Royal Pain, an innkeeper with attitude. Don't miss the series premiere of Pain Monday after Raymond right here on CBS. Mason at the line. 16 points now. Arkansas, the 4 seed in the West, leading Iowa. Perhaps the end of Tom Davis's coaching career at Iowa. If the Hawkeyes lose that one, it will be. All kinds of rumors that Steve Alford is on the way to be the coach as soon as Iowa's eliminated and his Southwest Missouri State team is finished.
They're on top of things, Walter Winchell. You know what's going on, but Arkansas may be a little too quick. They love to trap. They go all out, full court for 40.
Back to a 3-point game. Sharp nearly traveled. Gottlieb was giving the traveling signal, but the officials weren't going along with him.
Now this is the difference. The pressure away from the basket than during the Iba era, according to Eddie Sutton.
Porter, he traveled, took the pass and skipped before dribbling.
Cliff a little bit frustrated because they can't run their stuff, can't get organized, can't get in position to get some touches low. And puts Pullman in and gives them a crispness on offense.
Sharp goes out. Scott Pullman returns. Pullman leading Auburn in scoring with 15. Peterson and Mason have 17 each for Oklahoma State. Bad pass. Second turnover of the half by Oklahoma State. Pullman fired an air ball.
And Mason was faking right in the right part of your screen and going deep. That's what caused the turnover the last trip.
And they back off the pressure as Peterson controls. Now a 3-pointer could tie it up for Oklahoma State.
So here's the other aspect, the half-court trap now.
13 minutes remaining. Desmond Mason hits the one-hander.
Well, is that a way to beat the press? Nobody recovered. Nobody pinched. Explosive blow by.
And what a tournament Mason is having. He had 28 against Syracuse. He has 19 today against Auburn. A kick ball and a new shot clock for Auburn.
So there's certain angles you get the basketball on. The press doesn't recover properly. You see Porter with the body surf. And no pinch from the top. That's just an extraordinary read. And he has terrific reactions after a goal. He's having a ball out there.
Desmond Mason, second team all Big 12 this season, averaging 15 points a game. Pullman guarded tightly by Gottlieb. Njai now Hurd on the court with Porter and Smith for Auburn. Smith in traffic, too strong. Hurd got the rebound. Finally it's controlled by Montanati. A chance for Oklahoma State to take the lead. Peterson, a 3 that spins out to Porter. He had a great look at it. And Coleman pushes the Auburn lead back to 3. That could be a sequence to remember.
And what a nice job by Gottlieb. He didn't get the call, but he tried to get the charge. But what great self-control by Porter on that break.
The last Oklahoma State lead was with 8.5 left in the first half. 21-19, a quick 3 by Atkins and the rebound by Njai.
Remember Chippy hanging in your playground, guys that used to sneak out and not guard. Auburn does that as well as anybody in the country. They always have somebody leaking long.
22nd timeout called by Cliff Ellis.
Well, you got to keep your head up and be in control. Porter looking, he knows he's got the lanes covered, and there's the little slide by, and I love the non-call too. A little pratfall, but great body control, and that's a guy that usually spends a lot of time under the rim for Cliff Ellis.
Tonight on CBS, the LAPD's dream team hits the road to expose the mob, and Samo and Arsenio could get caught in the crunch. It's an all-new martial law tonight on CBS.
Looks like a lot of fast breaks in that show.
Yes, there are. A lot of action. The great Sammo Hung, America's new favorite action hero.
You were mine for a while until you lost a step or two. And right now, Oklahoma State has to pick up a step or two defensively. Need to stop.
Porter's on the bench for a moment out of that timeout. The 3-guard lineup now with Robinson, Pullman, and Hurd, along with Smith and Njai.
The first time they did that little stagger pick and roll up top.
5 seconds to shoot. Pullman in traffic.
What a sweet little kiss by the little guy. And that's what I showed you in the backyard. He must be some coach, the father. Oh, is that pretty? Little step through, sneak through the backyard, and kiss it home.
Well, Oklahoma State just a moment ago had an open 3 for the lead, and all of a sudden the deficit is 5. And those threes don't go down in instances like that. Sometimes it can be a momentum killer.
They were knocking right at the door, too.
Nearing the midway point of the second half. Gottlieb forces it up. And a foul call on Auburn. Sending Gottlieb, a poor free throw shooter, to the line. And that is 4 personals now on Doc Robinson.
Well, does that change things? How about this, though, Sean? I mean, slithering, the slight body. Maybe a little bigger, he may have charged, huh? Oh, boy, that must be delightful for a parent to see a son perform that well on this stage.
Ray Pullman's son, Scott, 8 for 12 from the floor, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, 19 points. And here's Gottlieb, the free throw shooter. We mentioned he struggles from the line, not there, but he's at 44% for the year.
And he asked to be taken out of the game the other day, and Eddie Sutton said he admired him so much. He said, Coach, they're going to foul me every time at the end of the game. Get me out. Intelligent approach.
One that Eddie Sutton really appreciated. The second free throw off. Njai pulled it away from Montanati, who didn't want to pick up his 4th foul. 4-point game. Robinson playing with 4 fouls. Cliff Ellis has decided to leave him in. And it pays off there as Robinson's runner makes it a 6-point game.
Well, that's a tribute to his confidence in him and also the bench as well. But how about the quick pull-up? Get the puppy set on that delivery.
Robinson has 11. Peterson, a 3. 20 points for Adrian Peterson. He's hit 3 threes today, has 227 for his career. Only Randy Rutherford hit more 3-point field goals in an Oklahoma State uniform. He had 279. Hurd. Boy, he's good.
So many answers. And they had run a little pick for a lob for Njai. Defense backed off, and Hurd able to knock it down.
They call him the microwave because he doesn't play many minutes, but he comes in and heats up quickly. Montanati, the bounce to the bucket, an extra bounce.
He did walk. They're going to say a foul. The bench, Eddie Sutton holding his head, but he did walk a little bit, Sean.
15 turnovers committed by Oklahoma State. Robinson's runner helps Auburn to a 5-point lead.
After he makes the turn, he doesn't rush anything. He's calm enough to get in the middle of the paint, see what's going on, and deliver.
Under 6 minutes to play. Final 14 from a year ago, Stanford. With Lee up and off and a foul. We'll go to the stripe for complete coverage. Go to cbs.sportsline.com. Here's our stat of the game and the rebounding story. Who would have thought little Gonzaga would out rebound big-time Stanford?
Well, we knew they had to stay in this ball game, and Dan Munson obviously told his players the same thing, and what a terrific afternoon they've had. And all by toughness. They're not as big, they're not as physical, they're not as strong, but they've gotten the job done.
In the tournament, when emotion and passion seems to rule, anything can happen. Here's Stanford, the #1 preseason team by Sports Illustrated, with their cover boy at the line right now, Arthur Lee.
But I go back to a year ago in their trip to the Final Four. Who will forget maybe that great comeback against Rhode Island, down 6 with 59 seconds left. They whittled it away until Arthur Lee knocks the ball away from Mobley of Rhode Island, picks it up, gives it to Maxson for the dunk 3-point play. That wins that ball game. So this veteran group is going to be patient towards the end of this game.
Gonzaga's lead is down to 4. They led by 13 in the first half. Santangelo and Weems. Calvert got a screen. Fighting through it was Maxson. Hall decides to drive. Dumps it out to Santangelo. A three.
Bullseye. How about that one? He faced up Weems. Looked like he was going off the dribble. The quickness of getting it from a shooting position to the release.
61-54, 10th seed Gonzaga. Lee to Weems. Whacked as he shot a three. Eaton draws the foul. He's got 4 and 3 shots coming up for Arthur Lee.
A total bad foul. And Dan Munson couldn't believe it. Never foul a jump shooter after the release of the ball. Eaton trying to make up some room. And Dan Munson could not believe it.
Iowa has come back to tie Arkansas at 47. What a game in Denver. And now they go up by 2 to the Hawkeyes. Auburn leading by 5. Under 10 to play in the second half. Weems throws up the shot and hits it. I believe it before I said Arthur Lee. Weems is at the line.
And Weems, you'd already had him. He took a quick shot from the corner. He had missed it. And Eaton made a silly foul.
Lead is cut down to 5 with 5:04 to play. Stops again.
And it stops the momentum that Gonzaga had built up. They get that rebound, the crowd's going crazy.
Santangelo. Weems is there. Lee is now shadowing Hall.
And once Santangelo gives it up, they should allow him to get it back.
Fromm was whacked by Mosley as he was up and cocked and ready to fight.
One foul to the next. Watch how quickly Fromm catches and releases. Squares the body. Hard to tell from that angle if it was ball or elbow, but Richie Fromm obviously agrees with the call. Look at the quickness of the square up. Oh, there's the arm. Good call.
Fromm is a junior from Battleground, Washington. Hit 5 threes the other afternoon against Minnesota. Now he goes 3 of 3 from the free throw line right here.
A very confident team. Richie Fromm, one of those players early in the season. They beat Memphis. He had 37. They beat Washington. They beat Washington State. They led Kansas in Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence, so they're not afraid to play anybody. And I think after the ball game against Minnesota, Kevin, I felt this ball club thought they were snubbed because everybody wanted to talk about Minnesota's problem. And the best players weren't playing. And the Gonzaga kids said, hey, we would have won anyway.
Will take it for either on the Dan Munson bench. They bring back in Mike Nielsen from Seattle. Nielsen has played well.
And Dan Munson continues fresh, active bodies in there. That's why they've had the rebound again.
Here comes Lee. Hall is on. Double by back out to Mosley. Guarded by Nielsen. The drive. Knocked away. What a steal by Nielsen.
Terrific ball game by Nielsen. All the intangibles.
Stanford turns it over for the first time in 20 minutes. Calvary sours on him like a blanket. Launching is Santangelo. It may have been tipped on the way up. Manson gets it. Weems the other way. They've got numbers as he flies. Rejected by what a play.
I think Nielsen came from the backside and tipped it away.
Calvary with the wonderful play and a 20-second timeout taken by Gonzaga. This crowd is going crazy.
Mike Nielsen has done it all afternoon long defensively. Came from behind. He knocks it away with his left hand. Calvary playing solid defense on one end. But again, the number of bodies that Dan Munson has put in this ball game that have responded, whether it's Nielsen or Spink or Leisure, everybody doing the positive thing.
All problems right now for Gonzaga. And you're talking about 3 players they need in Calvary, Spink, and Eaton.
And we're talking about the size. All of these top 3 guys are inside players.
Under 4 to play. 10th seed Gonzaga up by 6 over 2 seed Stanford. Nathan Young is in.
Good face-up shooter, remember.
Not going to double him. Fry to Hall. Hall will launch a three. Oh, what a shot! Lee at the other end. Rebounded inside by Calvary. Madsen shoved him around like a rag down. A foul called on Madsen.
And once again, the solid block out by the men in blue. Quentin Hall simply sizing up the defense, get them on their heels. McDonald's backing up. Quentin Hall was his third three-pointer of the second half.
Calvary will take his first free throws today. The sophomore from nearby Tacoma, Washington.
8 points on the afternoon. He had the first 8 of the ball game for this Bulldog team.
The lead is 10. The biggest lead for Gonzaga has been 13 back in the first half.
Some emotion in this building.
Very thick with emotion. Lee lost it. Weems picks it up. The Cardinals have some work ahead of them. Off the screen, Lee across the lane. Dumping it out to Weems. Lee for three. Tapped out of bounds. Off Gonzaga. Off 6'11" senior Jeremy Eaton. Can you believe the happenings in Seattle? Gonzaga by 10. 2:47 to play.
Iowa with a one-point advantage.
Arkansas has this in the pace that it wants, though, Ian, right now. They're going up and down. That's how they want to play this. Nolan Richardson said the street fight.
That's Kareem Reed with a three-pointer, and it's rebounded by Oliver. Oliver flips it up, settles the tap, no. Jakes was looking for the basketball, but Walker saves it for Reed. 2-on-1 developing with Cleveland. Cleveland the drive. Didn't get it to drop. McCausland the rebound.
Put a hand in there. It was a terrific reaction defensively.
Joey Range lines it up. Hits it for three.
Joey Range is the only guy with legs out there right now. He's getting some strength jumping.
12 points for the freshman.
He's breathing hard, though, too.
And a 20-second timeout has been taken.
That really benefits Iowa, that timeout.
11-12 to play. We are in the second half, and Iowa with a 57-53 lead.
Impressive list of teams.
Minutes of the second half, Jimmy. It looked like Arkansas was just going to take this game by the throat and cruise in for a win until Kent McCausland hit 3 three-pointers. Iowa now in front by 4. Coming up, more NCAA tournament action. Weber State running that Cinderella label right now. They take on Florida. And Detroit against Ohio State. That's coming up.
Let's catch our breath right now. That was the message in those timeouts. Catch your breath and start it up again.
Half court set for Arkansas. Cleveland, three-pointer. Book it.
Good.
10 seed Gonzaga by 10 over second seed Stanford, the highest seed in the West. Well, what a tournament it's been. St. John's, the Sweet 16 for the first time under Mike Jarvis. Going back to 91, Louis Carnesecca was the coach of St. John's then.
And the Pac-10 resting their hopes on this Stanford ball club. Last 2 years, there have been 4 teams in the Sweet 16 for the Pac-10.
McDonald to Lee, hounded by Nielsen. Weems finding the 7-2 Young. A sweet-looking hook inside.
And good half-court set and good patience by this Stanford ball club on the timeout. Now a little bit of trap at half-court. No, Matson will get back straight man-to-man.
Stanford's first field goal in almost 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Nielsen.
And Weems got caught with an elbow across the chin himself. Great matchup, Santangelo and Lee.
What's the strategy now for Gonzaga?
Well, good ball movement. Run some clock down, set some good solid screens. I think Santangelo has to have the basketball in his hands as the shot clock's running out.
Like right now, behind his back, a flare, up and fouled inside.
The key, Kevin, is he's so good shooting the ball, but he's also terrific handling it. So once it's in his hands, you have to stay close enough so he doesn't pull the trigger on you. But the closer you get, he controls his body, a la John Stockton a little bit. As he goes to his right, the little lead with the left shoulder, get contact by the defender, go to the foul line.
So Santangelo cultivates a couple of free throws, and he gives Gonzaga another lead of 9. Make it 10.
And now with 20 on the afternoon for Santangelo.
Here comes Lee.
Let go.
Weems for 3. Matson loses it out of bounds.
And Stanford knows they simply can't exchange hoops or anything. They have to pick up full court defensively now.
Iowa's got a 1-point lead, second half.
Look at the hustle by Matson, and the frustration couldn't simply get a hold of the basketball.
Auburn leads by 5. Deep in the second half there.
Now, Kevin, more sense of urgency for this Cardinal ball club on that defensive end.
Calvary will look to inbound. Wisely calls a timeout. The defense of Stanford put him in a straitjacket. He had no choice.
Mike Montgomery has the defenders in. McDonald, Weems, and Lee.
Timeout. Gonzaga by 10. Under 2 to play.
In that area, the ability to gather at the end, something that would break most people's backs. How pretty is that? The ability to catch in the open floor. Wonderful look. Desmond Mason with an outstanding game. How about the hops and Pullman with the giveaway?
His second foul. 9 assists for Gottlieb. Mason finishes the three-point play. The Cowboys refuse to die. They're down by 4 in Indianapolis.
Down to the chest level or below.
19 points for Chris Walker. Iowa trying to deal with this Arkansas pressure. Oliver on a stop and go. They turned it over.
Here's the strip. Walker so quick, and off to the races he goes. Nice little handle. That's what they want to get. They want to get the quick turnover and push down the floor. These guys are breathing hard right now.
21 turnovers for Iowa. They trail Arkansas 61-57.
Good pass over the top.
Reed, his battery just keeps on ticking. Bradley, long jump shot. Davenport tapped it to the outside, controlled by Bauer. Arkansas is ready defensively. Now we're trying to find an opening. Inside, Jakes. Little pump fake for Jacob Jakes.
A good stop, too, just then for Jakes. If he rolls to the basket, he runs over Bradley. He stopped, pulled up jumper, perfectly done.
Timeout, 7:58 left. Arkansas holding on to a 2-point lead.
Gonzaga, the 10th seed against 2-seed Stanford. Later today, Florida at 6 against 14th seed Weber State. Weber State beat North Carolina to advance to the second round. Gonzaga by 10, 1:47 to play. Full court pressure, they make the steal. Lee on Santangelo, up and off. Rebound brought down by Fromm, and he got the pass away to Santangelo. Another steal. Weems for 3. Oh, what a killer.
How about the aggressiveness defensively? Arthur Lee a little bit out of control, didn't answer it. But Fromm got himself in trouble both times in the corner. Once they made the entry pass, there were 4 white jerseys. There's Arthur Lee. They make the steal. Doesn't convert. As the ball goes to the corner, Fromm gets knocked down. Tries to make the pass. San Angelo can't get rid of it. Look at Weems. Backs up. Eyes the target. Gets his feet set. Knocks it home. And a quick timeout by the Stanford team. Never say die for this ball club.
And defense has truly been the Cardinal calling card all season long in the Pac-10.
You see the timeouts remaining, but they've been able to win a lot of close games. We talked about the experience. 55 times this fivesome has gone on the floor together, and they've only lost 9 times.
1:28 to play now, and Gonzaga's lead is down to 7.
And last time, Kevin, if Gonzaga clears the ball, they have numbers on the other end. They can do a number of things. They can either pull it out and run clock, or they'll get a layup.
Hall, shadowed by McDonald, bounced by Maxson. They get it to Santangelo. They cross the line. Eaton. Calvary was held by McDonald. The clock is down to 1:18, and Gonzaga will have free throws leading by 7.
Calvary only a 53% free throw shooter. So good foul by this Stanford team. McDonald fouled the right man. You know, it's interesting when you watch Mark Madsen, 6'9", 235, 240 on the point of pressure.
Madsen a big day, 15 points and 13 rebounds. And here's Calvary, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. And rolls around.
Good coaching changes here. Sauer comes in, Young goes out. Sauer more versatile offensively. Can go outside. And Nielsen comes in for his defensive presence. Has been a terrific rebounder this afternoon.
Got that one to go. The lead is 8. 1:15 to play. Lee right by Hall. What a move!
And you often see that, Kevin, because the defense does not want to foul. And Arthur Lee is as good.
Get down. Look at this back screen pop out.
Good patience here by the Tigers. Robinson in the lane.
He's not Timmy Hardaway or Iverson with that crossover, but he's pretty good. The depth at putting you one side and moving the other.
The offensive rebound was a big key there. 14 offensive rebounds for Auburn, and that was Eddie Sutton's biggest concern. He said yesterday he'd never played a team that averaged 20 offensive rebounds a game as Auburn does.
Nice slip here, huh? Once again, Gottlieb, number 6 without the turnover. They're screening better, finding themselves wide open.
Mason is 26. Peterson is 25. A full timeout called by Oklahoma State. They have just 1 full timeout remaining. 1:52 left. Auburn by 4.
A good foul. Had Lee along the baseline. Not a good decision by that young man. You know, Stanford has put a lot of full court pressure on, denying the basketball. And last time when Gonzaga took it out, look at over the top. Richie Fromm simply releases. And our guy, Mike Nielsen, puts it right on the money again. But the patience and the poise for Fromm just to make sure he makes the basket. Don't get in a hurry.
Senior Arthur Lee. Amongst the best free throw shooters in college basketball. The lead is down to 7. Floyd checks in. What a tight one they've got in Denver with Arkansas, the 4 seed over the 5 seed Hawkeyes by 1. Secondly, free throw is in. And Auburn now a 4-point advantage on 9 seed Oklahoma State.
That's just amazing. A year later, I'll tell you it again. Rhode Island, sweet of the Elite 8 to go to the Final Four, up 6, 59 seconds left. In Seattle, first round 99. Stanford down 6, 59 seconds left.
Madsen picks up the foul. That's number 3. Hall will be at the free throw line where today I believe it's Hall. May get Richie Fromm. He has put up a 4 of 5 effort from the stripe this afternoon.
78% free throw shooter. Very confident young man. Watching his team work out and practice. The game against Minnesota on Thursday, they expected to win. They didn't care about the suspensions. Confident in practice yesterday. Walked in this afternoon. Very calm.
Roberts the free throw. Following this game, as Gonzaga builds their lead to 7. It'll be Florida Weber State, and some of you will see 12th seed Detroit against 4th seed Ohio State.
And what Dan Munson is doing, offensive players and defensive players, free throw shooters versus defenders. He just took Ryan Floyd out, got Calvary back in. Big side player, can rebound. Fromm, if he makes it, will go out, and Eaton, the 6'11" body, will come in.
So he is really being particular how he substitutes.
Terrific job from the sideline.
Now they bring back Eaton, take out Fromm, and they got their defensive unit in.
And if you're Quentin Hall, be solid up front, make lead, make them shoot it over the top with a hand in their face.
8-point lead. Closing in on 50 seconds to play. Weems a 3. Oh, what a big shot.
Boy, the catch and the release, his second in the last minute.
He deployed a 3 that hit nothing but net. And now it's a 5-point game. 74-69 Gonzaga. Timeout with 49 seconds to play.
For the Cowboys, the arrow also in Auburn's favor. Porter going to the line for his first free throw attempt of the game. He has 8 points.
63% shooter.
Back rim, still a 4-point game. Cliff Ellis' team on top. Second one drops through.
Not pretty though, huh?
No.
But effective. Full court pressure. They don't want to gamble here. Keep everybody in front of them. Run the half court, getting Gottlieb's hands, and a lot of screening. The screener gets free.
Under a minute and a half remaining. Oklahoma State. 3 on its way. Another huge 3 by Atkins. He's had a season of huge threes.
He was the guy that screened, Sean. They had run the baseline with Peterson. He made the bump. They reverse it.
Atkins with huge threes this year against UNLV, Nebraska, Kansas, yesterday against Syracuse, and now this one against Auburn.
Chris Weems with a jaw-dropping 3-point shot.
This senior-laden ball club does not want to be done yet. Everyone in this arena thought this game was over, but the Cardinals will not go away.
Nielsen gets it to Santangelo, a great ball handler. Back to Nielsen. And he's quickly fouled with 45.9 seconds left in the second half clock.
A little bit surprised Santangelo got rid of that basketball so early, so easily. Once he made the catch, I thought he would split the seam on the bounce and then bring it up the floor.
He's 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Gonzaga has 1 timeout plus a 20. Stanford down to 1 timeout themselves. You can almost, for that Stanford team, as you take a look at that bench, you can almost feel their stomachs drop and their hearts stop.
Tough situation to be in, but the young man on the foul line coming back home, played at Shorecrest High School right here in Seattle. The numbers won't say he's played huge, but what a contribution.
This 6-point game. Lee maneuvering, and he got tangled up in the legs of Jeremy Eaton. He'll foul out with 40 seconds to play.
enormous three by Joe Atkins. Oklahoma State's within 2, but they are out of timeouts. They also have a foul to give with just 5.
I just think they've been a great play to get themselves free. Now, defensively, they just have to play solid. I wouldn't gamble and turn it into an open floor situation. They got the free safety back there to protect.
Winner moves on to Knoxville. Later tonight here, Detroit and Ohio State. Still a long way to go in this one with 1:20 left. Smith plays it into Robinson with Pullman, Porter, and Njai for Auburn. Mason out on the guard. Robinson. Gottlieb switches. Down to 1 minute remaining in regulation time. Njai with 10 on the shot clock.
What a cut.
Pullman in the lane. Hit it!
What a back cut. Can that kid read? Oh, was that gorgeous.
Now they have to get it in. They have no timeouts. Good pass by Peterson ahead to Mason.
Just run their screens. They're very effective getting free.
The time is running down.
Same play. Atkins screens, then goes to the other side. They got him again.
Catch and shoot. Atkins, not this time. Battle for it. Tipped in. Porter and Peterson went for it. It looked like Porter tipped it into the wrong basket. Inadvertently, and a quick foul called.
Hall hits his first free throw today. Lead is 5.
What a second half he has had. No points the first half. All 12 of them when they needed them most.
Gonzaga's lead at 6. Lee.
Good defense by Santangelo.
On Weems. Here's Lee. Inside around Calvary. Santangelo's got it. And fouled.
And Chiarina will make some noise.
Time is not ticking now for Gonzaga.
Yeah, I'm wondering why they're allowing this too.
He must have blown the shoe, yeah. A little spare part.
Yeah, he did, and that's a product of the report Michelle Tafoya gave us Thursday that he wears sneakers 2 sizes too small because he likes the way they feel.
Well, if they win the game and he's got these extra size shoes on, he may switch back to the normal ones. They got to get ready. Good, solid defense.
32.2 left. The next foul would send Auburn to the line for a 1-and-1.
So
was recruiting Santangelo and Lee, and whoever came first, whoever committed first was going to go, and Lee came before Santangelo. Here's Lee at the other end, a 3. Rebound by Frog. Another.
Give it to him.
Smart play off the ball. Put Njai on the free throw line.
Montanati called for his 4th.
And Mamadou, 66% free throw shooter.
Interesting, Eddie Sutton just decided to not even put Weber back in at any point with the 4 fouls. He decided he liked the way it was going with the lineup he had.
Matched up speed-wise. Big thing is to keep Porter off the glass on a miss.
Njai at the line. No free throws today. 65.5% for the year. How good?
They push and fire, but I think it's too late, obviously. Gonzaga, a team that was confident coming in. They thought they belonged last year. They're here this year. They're making some noise. What a terrific afternoon for these Bulldogs.
Gonzaga by 10 with 21 seconds to play.
In their pinch. And who's there? The guy that does all the dirty work. Brian Smith, and you can just see Brooks stomps.
Wow.
He's down.
That's a tough call.
It sure is. On a miss, right in here, we're going to see the ability to get free. Porter on the other side. This is a great offensive rebounding team. There is a ride out.
Oh, boy.
Well, Brian Montanati with the hand. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I think in this circumstance, because initially it looked like Smith gave Montanati a little shove in the back,
well,
and then Montanati responded by sticking his backside out.
If it's anything, it stops the clock quickly, but you're right. A little nickel dimer at a key point in the game.
Oh, boy. And a late and tentative whistle, we might add, as the ball was already bouncing away. Now here comes Weber back in. He has
as he is with the basketball, he has to be careful also, dribbling the ball around Reed.
McCausland.
Pick it up, you're in trouble also.
Knocked out by Reed. It was close.
Are they fast? You pick the basketball up near a double team situation and they just jump all over it.
2:01 left and a timeout has been called. We've got a 1-point game in Denver. More to come.
Second one also good, a 5-point game. That's a huge call on that rebounding action.
Very tough on this club, but they got to think too. Why they real quick, get it 2, press. You don't have to settle for the 3.
Gottlieb, bad pass. Adkins stopped. Gottlieb thought he was going to continue toward the foul line extended.
Great defensive angle. The prevention almost closing over the top. Just terrific position.
They want to get into Pullman. They do. Adkins didn't want to foul him, but they also have to take their chances because they can't let time run off the clock, and Mason came to grab him.
Scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements. Final seconds. Weems for 3. It's not over. He buries a 3 with 14 seconds to play.
And Chris Weems continues to knock in the shots he gets.
He's banged in 4 threes. Gonzaga by 7 with just under 15 seconds to play.
And they've allowed it all day. Scott's dad, Ray Pullman, has to be the proudest father in Indianapolis tonight. And a good reason, 27 points.
Well, he's everybody's Opie after this performance, huh?
In comes Hurd, out goes Pullman.
And it was Hurd with a great defensive play earlier, shutting off the passing lane to Joe Atkins.
13 seconds left, and now Oklahoma State is really up against it, down by 7. Gottlieb picks it out. Mason. Rebound Peterson, but time has run out on Oklahoma State. Auburn, the #1 seed in the South, advances to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 1986. The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are Scott Pullman from Auburn with a career high 28 points, 11 of 17 in field goals and 4 of 4 from the line. And Adrian Peterson, the Cowboy, in his final Oklahoma State game was brilliant, but not quite good enough to carry his team to the upset win. So Auburn advances to meet the winner of Detroit and Ohio State coming up next year in Indianapolis. And we advance back to our CBS Sports Studios and rejoin Greg Gumbel.
All right, Sean, so top seed Auburn into the Sweet 16, 81-74 over Oklahoma State. We want to update you now.
Iowa nursing a 3-point advantage.
Oliver did not really.
CBS Saturday. CBS Monday.
Flip it back up. Koch right in the correct spot at the right time. Going to stretch this to a 2-possession game right now.
And 2 shots for J.R. Koch. The 4th personal foul on Pat Bradley.
Gonzaga to inbound. They led by 13. It got close as a couple. Quinton Hall has it. Quickly whacked in the play by
4. Now after this shot, they'll come down the floor in a hurry.
Koch, 2 out of 2.
Still have plenty of time. If I'm Arkansas, I try to get this thing going to the basket as quickly as I can. It looks like they may settle for a 3.
Cleveland. Out for Walker. Cleveland.
Arkansas does not have a timeout, remember, so they have no chance to regroup at the bench. They have to do it on the floor.
Walker swings it in for Hood. Offensive foul is called.
The last minute has belonged to Koch. at the offensive end with the tip. Watch him step across now. Get good position. Feet down. He's vertical. He's okay. Hook puts the shoulder down a little bit. Tough.
In the country.
Lee off the fingertips of Manson.
Well, Dan Munson's doing what his father did. His father, Don, took